everyone. Welcome back to today's build. I'll be your guide to this wonderful game we all love. Let's get started. Today's deck is one of the new Precon commanders from Phyrexia All Will Be One. Ixhel, Scion of Atraxa is a 2/5 flyer with Vigilance and Toxic 2 that lets us steal cards off the top of enemy libraries and play them like they were colorless. Like Atraxa and raids before her, Ixhel has an end step trigger, and we'd like to set it up before she comes down. But can we do it by turn 3? To get Ixhel online and on the field by turn 3, we would need to deliver 3 poison and have ramped by turn 2. That's not really practical at all. So the earliest this is probably happening is turn 4, so we won't worry too much about early ramp. Instead, we'll focus on putting poison counters on our opponents and making our land drops. On the way to turn 4, we have Skrelv Defector Might, Venerated Rotpriest, and Bilious Skulldweller. We also have Glistener Elf, Virulent Sliver, and Ichor Rats, as well as Infectious Bite, Vraska's Fall, and Pestilent Siphoner, Plague Stinger, Glistening Sphere, and Bloated Contaminator. Make sure you're using your creatures to put poison counters on the player most likely to be able to stop you in the late game. Skrelv's Hive is much too slow to include here, as it doesn't make any creatures until turn 3, and it can't attack until turn 4 when it's not likely to be relevant. It is only a 1/1 after all. Crawling Chorus is also a 1-drop toxic creature, but it also doesn't stay relevant for very long, and drawing it any time other than turn 1 feels really bad. But Bilious Skulldweller can at least be a removal spell when we need it, and can also come down turn 1, so we might keep it. Pestilent Siphoner beats out Blightbelly Rat here since it has flying and is more likely to be able to get counters through more reliably over the course of the game. Once we've got our poison counters out and it's turn 4, we go to combat and then play our commander during our second main phase. Just in case something goes wrong and we don't get the counters where we want them, we might still be able to make an alternative play. Once Ixhel is down and we've gotten the card draw off her, it's turn 5. It's important to notice that Ixhel's ability still lets you play the card after Ixhel leaves the battlefield, but not after its owner is knocked out of the game. So despite how we might normally play a poison counter deck and focus on one person, we'll actually get more value out of our commander if we first get each of our opponents to 3 poison and then focus on knocking people out. Conveniently, our commander has flying and will push out 2 poison counters when it connects. With the rest of our board intact, getting to 3 poison on each opponent on this turn should be pretty easy, which means now we're playing Proliferate effects to close out the game. But we don't want just any Proliferate effects. We want to proliferate while also getting other value off the top. So we're not playing cards like Copper Longlegs, Cankerplume, Thirsting Roots, or Unbounded Potential, which really only proliferate. Instead, we'll play Carnivorous Canopy, Drown in Ichor, and Smell Fear to remove enemy permanents and slow them down, as well as distribute more poison counters, which coincidentally, since we're slowing them down, buys us more time to steal more cards with our commander, while also holding up mana to protect our board with cards like Take Up the Shield, Gaia's Gift, and Assure, to also leave behind counters we can proliferate onto our infect creatures that makes them bigger threats in the late game. We're also playing Wanderer's Strike, Rhesus Outbreak, and Courage in Crisis to get more counters down on our infect creatures and pump them up to make them more relevant late game. Norn's Choirmaster and Contaminant Grafter are repeatable proliferate effects that can proliferate on the turn we play them, not to mention that the Grafter draws cards, and Pistis Strike clears the way for all of our flyers. As far as resources go, there's not a lot of room for early ramp, but a Wild Growth on turn 2 or later pays for itself without slowing us down at all. And as far as card draw goes, Infectious Inquiry, Painful Truths, and Goliath Hatchery will fill in some card draw slots, but mostly our commander will have to make up for all of that. To close out the game, Plane-Wide Celebration, Noxious Assault, and of course Triumph of the Hordes will overwhelm our opponent's forces and bring another glorious victory to Phyrexia. I usually want a lot more card draw in my decks, but Ixhel draws up to 3 cards a turn to make up for it. Our deck has a game plan, a victory condition, and several ways to generate value along the way. If we had blue in our identity, like Ixhel's mother Atraxa, we could probably do a lot more with this, but as it stands, this deck sits at a very comfortable 7. It's optimized, but among the optimized decks, it's nothing truly crazy.
If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe for more. Thanks for watching!